Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy
Wasn't a
cold
bad
brew.
weekend, Mike, for
You
sports.
never know
No, it
what
was
these
not.
two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud.
Pirates get their first sweep of the season.
Whew.
Their first winning, first game, 3-game winning streak of the season. They've won, I don't know, like 4 of 5 or something. I guess it might be they might have turned that corner, man. Pirates get the big sweep this weekend over the Philadelphia Phillies. First season sweep of the season, no two ways about that. Again, first 3-game winning streak, Mike. First time they could actually call themselves a team that's on a streak.
Yes.
Pirates do have a good weekend. Mike, the Hounds and the Riveters both look pretty well. The Gals, our Pittsburgh Passion, they came up a little short this weekend, but I'm not too worried.
Nah, no bounce back.
But a lot of stuff, Mike. There's a lot of stuff that's going on over the weekend. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff about the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is here. He's in town. He's signed. He's wearing a ring. The circus is starting. Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers, episode 756 of the show. Welcome back this morning, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, a lot of things to talk about today, Mike. I got more notes here in all my pages than I've had ever. I've never had as much notes as I have right now in front of me for a show. Good morning to Jen on the board. Always great to see Jen's smiling face on the board so early. Good morning.
Good morning. Jen yelled at me on the Discord.
She did?
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
Well, I just said her and her bestie, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, he's going to be all of our bestie pretty soon. Yeah, baby. We got, like I said, we have a lot of stuff to go over today, Mike. A lot of stuff to go over today. Let's dive. Well, you know what? Let's give it a minute or two. Let some people roll in. I don't want to jump into the Steelers too early because then any important information comes out, then we're gonna have to repeat it. And so let's dance here real quick, Mike. TJ and Megan McConnell. Of course, TJ McConnell is on the Indiana Pacers, right here out of Chartiers Valley, who's in the NBA Finals against OKC. His sister also, Mike, she plays in the WNBA. Talking about some good basketball genes. Sister Megan and brother TJ, both playing for a professional basketball team. One is in the finals right now, from right here in Chartiers Valley in Pittsburgh. So glad to see that. Good luck to both of them. However, the brother TJ, his team takes a loss, Mike. They lose. What did they lose? 123-107 to even that series in the NBA Finals. Mike, Game 3 is going to be Wednesday at 8:30.
That's going to be a good series.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to. I mean, come on.
Like it can go either way.
Yeah. So that's a 1-1 series, Mike. Over in the NHL, the Panthers, they get the win before they come back home in double overtime yesterday. They win 5-4 over the Oilers. That series tied 1 game apiece. The Game 3 of that series is today. It's today at 8 o'clock, Mike. This is also going to be another good series. I thought if Edmonton could get the a 2-0 lead going down to Florida that might really be in their favor. But the series going back to Florida evened out. I think that this is going to be a pretty good series.
Yeah, it was last year too. It was back and forth the entire way. Both teams are playing out of their mind. Connor McDavid's playing some of the best hockey I've seen in a long time. It's to be a sports fan right now. You got that going on. The U.S. Open starting in Oakmont. It's just a lot going on in the sports world, man.
There sure is. Of course, the U.S. Open going on right here in Oakmont as well. Town that's known for its bakery is today. And, well, moving forward here over the next week or so, Mike, we will have golf here, major golf. If you're into that sort of thing, it is right here in town. Good morning, the Finch on the board. Always great seeing Finch. What's up, brother? What's up? Oh, yeah, baby. Mike, as I said, we have a whole lot going on today. So let me knock a few more of these things out here before we do get started. The UFL has its championship weekend yesterday. The Michigan Panthers beat Birmingham. This is the first time Birmingham has not gone to the championship since Birmingham Stallions has been a team. Michigan wins 44-29 over Birmingham out of the UFL conference. Mike, they will go on to the championship to take on the DC Defenders.
That's what I'm talking about.
DC beat St. Louis 36-18 as they move on out of the XFL conference. It's going to be Saturday at 8 o'clock p.m. The UFL Championship, DC Defenders at the Michigan Panthers at St. Louis is where it's going to be played. Mike, so there you go. Your DC Defenders are in. They get their chance to win the championship. You called it all season. I didn't see this happening, but Mike, DC and Michigan, Saturday, 8 o'clock. UFL will be over Saturday night, and that means the next pro men's football we're going to be looking forward to is, of course, going to be pros. Our Steelers, and of course, high school and college here in Western PA. But Mike, we are down to the championship. This season sure went fast, and you know what? It did its job. It's springtime football, and you know what? It got us there. UFL championship this coming Saturday, Michigan versus DC.
Yeah, it flew by, man. It felt the past couple of years that the UFL dragged on and on and on, but it went by quick. And my DC Defenders, baby.
Yeah, man, looking good. Beer Snake. I don't know if they'll have the Beer Snake up in St. Louis, but you know what? They might. Who knows? Maybe the fans will bring the Beer Snake. You never know.
I hope they do. I hope they show up, bring the Beer Snake up. Because outside of like St. Louis and a couple other markets, like the attendance has gone down, but there's always a raucous atmosphere when DC plays. They have a good time.
Yeah, they sure do. Again, the championship, guys. We're ready to watch some championship football this Saturday. The UFL Championship, Michigan versus DC. Also, Mike, our football team of wonderful, very talented ladies. They were back at it this weekend, and they came up just short.
Yeah.
I made a note. I made a point last time to say when we played DC that this team is pretty damn good, and they did a couple things to expose our defense this weekend. I seen it the first time, and then when they did it this weekend to our ladies, I recognized it. And I was like, oh, you know what? I knew that they were going to do that to us. They passed the ball really well. It's just something that we just don't generally cover that often. We, a lot of running in women's football. We lose 22-19, which gives the Passion their first regular season loss in a couple seasons. However, they get a chance to redeem themselves this weekend, Mike, with their last home game of the season. It's against the Cincinnati Cougars this upcoming Saturday. Then after that, the playoffs will begin. Right now, the Passion are 4-1. It's a 6-game season for them. They got one more against Cincinnati than the playoffs. Mike, I think they're going to be fine. I think they needed a game like this. A tough game. It came down to the wire. A couple late mistakes, defensive, just some dumb penalties, jumping off sides.
Yeah.
There was a couple. Running back dropped the ball a couple times whenever it was an important point in the game. But nonetheless, you can't win them all. They lose by 3 points to a pretty damn good DC Divas team. And the Pittsburgh Passion are sitting at 4-1 heading into the final game at home at Slippery Rock this coming Saturday, and then the playoffs. So I look for the gals to bounce back, Mike, and get back in this thing. They're too good not to. I just think, as we said, I think that you need this kind of game every once in a while to put you in your place, and I think that's going to make the Passion stronger heading into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's nice to get that one out of the way. Now they have this experience to look back on, like correct those little mistakes that they might have been able to get away with early in the year against some lesser competition. Now you're playing some better teams. If you go into the playoffs, tighten it up and then you be good to go because this is a championship caliber team.
Oh, absolutely. No two ways about it. This team, I'll be very surprised, Mike. And if you're looking at all the numbers, the only other teams that really have numbers like the Pittsburgh Passion do, they're out west. It's going to be teams that we're going to be facing in the championship more than likely. So I look forward to the Passion rebounding this weekend, getting a win against Cincinnati, and getting ready to head to the playoffs, guys. But I see people are starting to roll in. So let's get into it, Mike. The circus is in town. That's right. Not Barnum and Bailey, but the Aaron Rodgers show is here. He's in town. He showed up. He signed his contract. And it's no surprise we're already learning bizarre things about our quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Mike. One of the very first things that I heard, this is something that I heard as soon as he got into town. This is a pretty good camera guy who does a lot of work around the NFL. He's right here in Pittsburgh, Mike. He put on his Facebook post the other day, Aaron Rodgers does not use Bluetooth headphones.
I saw that.
Because, get this, he doesn't use Bluetooth headphones because it messes with his brain frequency. He only uses wired headphones. Mike, there you go. The circus has started, baby. Media's worrying about shit that it doesn't need to worry about. Here it is. If you wanted it, if you love it, here it is. He's here. The Barnum and Bailey circus rolled into town over the weekend, left Aaron Rodgers behind, and moved on. Mike, he doesn't use Bluetooth earphones.
Then how the hell does he get the plays called to him?
You're right.
They got that receiver in there.
Exactly.
Maybe he just that limited amount on game day is just enough to where it doesn't mess with his brain frequencies. Or it messes with them just enough to when he's out there, he can see the field better than anyone else. I love it. This is when you have nothing to talk about. To where the national
this is what
they're running
media,
stories with.
Bro,
this is
what they when you throw a penny in the fountain, or you see a Santa Claus floating through the air and you blow on it to make it wood. This is what the Pittsburgh media wanted more than anything.
Oh yeah,
because it's the clowns are in town, guys. The clowns are going to clown, and I tell you what, turn on any of those other channels, and this is what you're going to have for the next 8 to 10 months, guys. Fantastic. The circus is here. Can't wait to get into all this again. Good morning to Kenneth on the board.
What up, bro?
Jen says Aaron Rodgers' brain is fried from all the drugs. He's stupid. So we're off to a good start again, guys. Aaron Rodgers does not use a Bluetooth. Don't use the earbuds, I guess you would say.
Yeah, don't use it. Nope.
Don't use the earbuds because it messes with his brain frequency, guys. So again, one day in, the circus is in. Here we go.
I love it. When I saw that story, it's like, okay, I got a little chuckle out of it and moved on. But like you said, man, people have been riding that into the ground. It's comical, and I love it, and I'm here for it.
And as you said, how is he going to go on with his with the radio in his helmet? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Maybe they tell him it's not Bluetooth. It's going in Morse code.
This is green tooth, Aaron. You see the green dot? This is the green tooth. This isn't Bluetooth.
I love it.
Pittsburgh, the city of bridges. The city of bridge quarterbacks?
Ooh.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have had 10 quarterbacks in the last decade that started for them. Ben Roethlisberger, of course. Landry Jones. Michael Vick. Mason Rudolph. Duck Hodges. Mitch, KP, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers. We have become the city of bridge quarterbacks. And guess what? Only one of those names that I named had a losing record.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
So, say what you will, but the quarterbacks that we had, they got it done, I guess, as far as getting it done.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody had losing, the team never had a losing season, of course. Obviously, we all know this. So for having 10 basically 9 bridge quarterbacks, that's again, only one have a losing record. Mike.
Yeah, and you figure Ben was the starter, but you figure Vic, Duck, Mason they all played just in Landry Jones just to injuries. KP we thought was the franchise guy. So really, Mitch, Fields, and Wilson were the only real bridge quarterbacks in that time. Everyone else was played through injury because of the starter was injured, or we thought we had our
you get the
franchise
point.
guy. Yeah, but I just hope, but like a lot of people were running with it as to like,
Well,
you
I
know,
mean,
we were
it
talking about
really doesn't. It's not really irrelevant. I don't
yeah, but
think.
they were just like, oh my
We're
God,
just
this is
saying that there's been
terrible.
10 starting quarterbacks in the last.
Yeah.
You know that's
Yeah.
you know I think
Yeah.
that's the point that's being conveyed.
Yeah, but
conveyed
you know,
here. Yeah,
people were trying to make it like every year with a different quarterback. Like,
well,
get the heck out
it pretty
of
much
here.
is kind of.
Yeah, on average.
Good morning to Mark Malone on the board. Aaron Rodgers is a moron, says Finch. Finch says Terry Bradshaw didn't have no radio in his helmet and he won 4 Super Bowls.
God damn right he did.
And Mark Malone said, and Rodgers hasn't even played yet. He's not, dude. We got months. We got months of the circus before we get to start the true Aaron Rodgers show. But you know what? It started. He's here, Mike. There's again within the first 24 hours, we already know that he has brain frequency issues.
Yeah,
I mean that's not too weird. Have you ever heard anybody say that ever? For one, and for a person to say that within the first hour of being in town is a bizarre thing. But again. This is what the Pittsburgh media craves. This gives them again, Mike, they don't talk about anything good except for this kind of bullshit over and over and over. That's what you're gonna hear. There's no creativity with that bunch, Mike. This is what they crave in the Pittsburgh media, especially the radio guys. So there you go. Merry Christmas to them. You got something to talk about for a while.
Come early.
Mike, let's see what else we got here. Steelers Mount Rushmore. This is retarded because how are you going to have Steelers Mount Rushmore? I seen it pop up and somebody had it as Ben, Terry, Russell, and Aaron combining for a total of 8 Super Bowls in their career, 4 Hall of Famers. Whose Mount Rushmore is more impressive than the Steelers? Maybe Denver with John Elway, Peyton Manning, and Russell Wilson. I don't know if they have a 4th guy, but what a retarded thing. These guys have all these accomplishments in their career, but none of them with the Steelers. Certainly Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You look at 2 guys like Terry Bradshaw and Big Ben, who were career hometown. I mean, not hometown, but career Steeler heroes.
Yeah.
To even say that these guys, and the 4th guy on the list isn't even on the team yet. The guy hasn't played a single snap. But when you look at it and look at this list of these 4 quarterbacks, it's kind of impressive. But to put him in that kind of way, Mike, as the Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback Mount Rushmore, I think is a bit retarded.
Yeah, that's a bit much right there. Obviously, it's Ben and Terry. Then you have to put in Terry Hanratty and Joe Gilliam. That's the 4 right there.
No, yeah, whatever. But
you're like Steelers Mount Rushmore. I'm like, I started thinking of rattling off names. Like, we have so many, you can have multiple Mount Rushmores. That's just then that I'm like, whoever came up with that, sick in the head.
Well, they should have a GM Mount Rushmore because, Mike, we just in the past 2 seasons signed 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks for under $20 million, Mike. Where do you see this get done? Who accomplishes this besides Omar Khan? Mike, we got 2 in the past 2 seasons, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I mean, albeit their careers are both over at this point, Mike. But I guess at the end of the day, it's better than starting a nobody. I'm seeing a lot of feedback around town. A lot of people not liking the move. A lot of people liking the move. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Certainly, as we get closer to the season and people are ready to watch their Pittsburgh Steelers play football. Are they gonna, they're gonna turn the other cheek and say, well, you know what, this is what it is. Let's see what the guy can do. People are expecting great things from him. I don't know if I'm expecting great things in him. Again, in your 40s, I don't know if you could expect great things from somebody at that age. But Mike, I hope for the best. And again, at the end of the day, the guy, as mentioned in the media over the weekend, has the best vision that any quarterback that the Steelers have had since Ben Roethlisberger. I'll take some vision. I'll take some guys that could read. I'll take a guy that could read the defense, a guy that could make moves on the on the run and make things happen. I'm to that extent, I'm ready to watch him play quarterback. But there's a lot of things also. I mean, there's arguments both ways. I get it. I understand where people are coming from. But at the end of the day, there's not much that we're going to be able to do about this, Mike. So, why be pissed? Why be upset? He's going to come in here and break some records that are going to be it's not going to be fun for Steeler fans. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. And he's here and he's going to be the quarterback. So let's see what he could do. And that's not even guaranteeing that he could get out of the first game. Like, remember, 2 seasons ago, it wasn't 3 plays into the season. He tore his Achilles. He was out for the entire season, Mike. You can't rule things like out of the question because, again, he's an old man. Old in the NFL is 30-ish. He's 42 during the season. So again, there's a lot, Mike, and I can't say this enough, a lot of questions about this team, not enough answers, but we are starting to find out some of the answers, Mike, in the signing of Aaron Rodgers over the weekend is going to open up some doors for other things that we're going to find out about this team that we may not have known prior to, because I did find out that Aaron Rodgers has been closely in touch with Mike Tomlin and with Arthur Smith, talking about the offense, Mike, trying to get the offense reshaped was the word that he used. It says here that, he's been planning with Tomlin and Smith about reshaping the offense. That's a good sign. Who wouldn't like this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the run game's still going to be what the run game is. It's still going to be, you're going to have that zone run concept because that's why you got Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren. They fit that perfectly. So it's going to be the passing game. Arthur Smith likes to use motion and stuff. Aaron Rodgers, for the most part, likes to have things set. A little motion, if any motion, and also he can read the defense pre-snaps, know where everyone is, and go out there and do his thing. So you're going to see stuff like that. Hey, Aaron, what kind of pass concepts do you like to use? Okay, we're going to integrate that. Oh, hey, we don't have receivers who can do that. Are you comfortable with this? Oh, yeah, I can make that work. No, I can't make that work, but I can make this work. You got guys who can do that. Yeah, that's what you want. You want your offensive coordinator and your quarterback on the same page, willing to work together to get the best out of your quarterback and the best out of your playmakers as well. So I like that. That is an encouraging sign to where you have the offensive coordinator and the quarterback willing to work together. Whereas like down the stretch last year, Russ and Arthur Smith were butting heads. Those were all the reports there of like, hey, I want to run this. No, you got to run this. No, I can't run this. I want you to call me these plays. And they butted heads. Now you have two guys who want to work together. That's good. Only good things can come from that.
Yeah, man. Let me get some of these messages, Mike. We got good messages coming up.
Yeah.
On the board. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's see. Mark Malone says he's just stick teasing them. Corey, what's up, brother? Always great seeing you on the board as well. He says, okay, cool. Aaron is here now. Whatever. LOL. Now let's sign TJ if we're going to, because we can't buy any wide receiver 2 contracts until the move money around via TJ Watt's next backloaded contract. You know what? I think that gets taken care of soon. I think that he's going to get his deal done before the season. Mike, it just wasn't time yet. There was so much other stuff going on, stuff with the quarterback situation. I mean, we're probably going to be bringing in somebody else. We'll get more into that here in a little bit. Aaron Rodgers doesn't move unless he takes friends with him. So, I mean, there's some speculation on that going around, but I think TJ Watt eventually gets that contract figured out here, Mike, before the season starts, which it makes me think that he might have a big year this year, come out and say, hey, dude, here's your contract. Give him the bag and watch him go. Let's see what he could do. Hopefully, again, that's what kind of season this ends out being. Kenneth says, I think we need to see if he's really bought into, see what he will be. Is Aaron really here or just present? Kenneth says. Well, Aaron, he's here, guys, on a 1-year, $13.65 million, which includes $10 million guaranteed and a maximum value of $19.5 million on his contract. And Mike, you don't have to worry because of Aaron Rodgers, he got his number 8 back. He's got 8. Corliss Waitman is going to go with number 3. Russell Wilson's number from last year. Aaron Rodgers will be donning the number 8 as he did in New York, Mike.
All is right in the world. He has number 8. Terry Bradshaw's 12 is safe and sound. The great debate is over.
Well, the great debate is this. Do you go on and get your Aaron Rodgers jersey, or did you just slap tape over the Kenny Pickett's name on the back of your jersey? I'm seeing this more because some people, Mike, are pre-ordering. Some people already have their Aaron Rodgers jersey. Some of these places have them out so soon. But, Mike, again, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I'm just slapping an Aaron Rodgers sticker on the back.
I saw a TikTok. This one guy was like, if you think I'm not putting tape over this and writing Aaron Rodgers, you're crazy. I'm getting every dime of value out of this jersey that I bought for Kenny Pickett. It's now my Aaron Rodgers jersey. And there's a lot of people like that. Might as well do it. Shit. Or, if it's stitched on there, undo the stitching and just buy the letters and sew it on yourself. Save some money.
Be a little creative.
Get creative. Yeah, exactly.
Of course, he is the first 40-year-old to play on the Pittsburgh Steelers football team, a team that's been around. It's going to be around 100 years. Come 2033. Mike, this is the oldest player ever to don a Steeler uniform. Mike, in this Aaron Rodgers. Now we're talking about playoffs, right? Like, this is the big goal this year. We're
Yeah.
expecting to have a good
Oof.
season. It's kind of an all in its own way, a Super Bowl or bust in its own kind of way. I mean, whether we think that's going to happen, believe it's going to happen, this might be the best opportunity to even have that conversation in many years, providing that Aaron Rodgers can come and do the things that everyone is hoping that Mr. the Magician is going to be able to do. Again, it's going to be a lot more difficult than just signing Aaron Rodgers. Mike, the past 3 seasons in 22, Aaron Rodgers went 8-9 in Green Bay, missing the playoffs. 23 injured, misses the whole season. Last year in New York, 5-12. So, as somebody said this week in the media, Aaron Rodgers needs the team just as much as the team needs Aaron Rodgers at this point. And that's kind of maybe what I'm leaning on when I'm saying this could probably be best opportunity in a while. Again, this isn't a grand opportunity. This isn't the ideal opportunity. He's again, there's a lot of things about this that you could argue against. But Mike, again, from what we've had over the past, so many years, this may be the best chance we have to get as far as we can.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl, but I think we can win a couple playoff games. People want to talk about Aaron Rodgers being washed. Don't forget he was 8th in yardage, 7th in touchdowns or somewhere in that area. Yeah, tied for 7th in touchdowns. So he put up better numbers than passing wise than Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. So he still can get it done, but can he get it done consistently throughout the season and down into the playoffs? That's going to be the key. So to say that he's completely washed, he's the bum, is erroneous. Now it's like, was last year his last hurrah coming back from the injury? That's a valid debate right there. But, if he can still play the way he is, outperforming statistic-wise than these guys, that's going to be awesome. But can he get it done in the crunch the way like Mahomes, Allen, and Hurts were able to get it done into the playoffs and have decent runs? That's going to remain to be seen. Does he still have that X factor when the game's on the line? Because going back and watching some of the film on him, he was still making some really nice throws in tight windows, but the consistency now at that advanced stage. Can he do it through a full 17-game season consistently? We started to see it at the tail end of last year, but was that against bad competitions, teams that were quitting, knew their season was over? Or was that him rounding back into form that we saw in 2020, 2018 when he was still putting up close to MVP numbers? That's, what Aaron Rodgers are we getting? Yeah, he's 41, but again, last year, man, he was putting up numbers comparable to MVP candidates and MVP winners.
Yeah, I mean that's a debate.
Because you can spin the numbers any way you want.
What I'm sitting here.
But you have to go to look at the film too.
I could really argue either side of that argument.
Yeah,
and I think that I could get a pretty good argument either way.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of what it is that you think about this team.
You can take the film and the numbers and spin any of those two narratives that you want. You have info for both. That's the quandary that we're in right now. It's like, which one are you getting?
Yeah, man. That's that's numbers. You could do with anything, Mike. So here we go. We got mandatory mini camp. Mike starts on the 10th. It starts Wednesday. I'm sorry. What's the 10th? Tomorrow, Tuesday through Thursday. Mandatory mini camp. Mike, June 12th through 10. The circus is here. Aaron Rodgers is here. He doesn't have earbuds with him. I can promise you that. Let's see. Jen says, until Rodgers goes off script and pisses Arthur off, then it's a huge problem. Oh, wait, Rodgers is a changed man. Mark Malone, yeah, I doubt Watt signs until right before the season like last time. I think anything else that's crazy. I mean, it is what it is. The way it always is with guys like Watt, Mark Malone. I'm telling you, Rodgers has been doing hippie shit. He isn't all broke down like Ben was in his late 30s. And then Jen also goes on to say, and the offensive line does not if the offensive line does not make a huge leap, Rodgers is going to be bitching and complaining. That's what I'm saying. Once something goes off a script here, in theory, a lot of things could go well with what we have going on in this situation. But just wait till things go bad and go bad again. And don't get better, perhaps. I don't know. Again, there's potential for disaster. I mean, it has potential to be a toxic relationship. Again, we've had issues with players being, toxic in the locker room many of times. and it all fell into this time period. In the past, this guy usually doesn't make it. Guys like this, guys that we got rid of in the past 5-8 seasons, they didn't make it in the Steelers organization. So we'll see how this plays out, Mike. And not only, as we said last weekend, Antonio Brown said that he would be interested in playing with. At this point, we might as well. We have the oldest pro teams in the world. I promise you that, with all the old guys we have here in Pittsburgh. But Mike, now Lev Bell at 33 years old is coming out saying he would like to return. Also, if Antonio Brown returns, and I got to be honest, I've seen both of these guys with their work ethics. They're both probably in better shape than some people in the NFL are.
I think as though like Lev Bell, we saw what he had when he last suited up in the NFL, and it was not pretty down in Kansas City. He couldn't make it work there in that offense. He's done. AB maybe, but
Mike, everybody is so high on Aaron Rodgers, but saying these other guys' names, people are like, I don't get that.
Aaron Rodgers has been playing,
but he's going to be 50 before come on.
He's still in game shape.
I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if he was even in game shape in the games. I'm going to be honest. The guy got hurt on the first 5 seconds of a season and was out for a year. That's not really game shape. That's getting old. And again, the potential of that something like this happening again is very high, because again, things like this is what things are you can't control once you get a certain age. Your body is what your body is. And again, it happened 2 seasons ago. I don't see why he would be in any better shape today than he was 2 years ago.
He didn't get hurt last year.
He didn't, but they won 5 games, Mike. This Aaron Rodgers has not won a playoff game since 2020 in any team, even when he was on his Green Bay team, Mike. We could always say, well, the Jets weren't any good, but you know what? He didn't do anything when he went 8-9 in Green Bay the last time he was there. So again, really, this is what the media wants. They want to have these debates. They want to have these arguments. This is what's important right now. It's not football. It's Aaron Rodgers. As I said, it was going to be. It's not about this Pittsburgh Steelers team, guys. It's about Aaron Rodgers. What is everybody going to be talking about for the next week? What's everybody going to be talking about for the next month? What's everybody going to be talking about all through summer? Not your Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the Aaron Rodgers show, baby. It started. He's here. The circus is here. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of the parsley on top of the main dish. That is Aaron Rodgers that you're going to see this year. The Steelers are relevant. It's all about Aaron Rodgers. And this, again, is why some people in Pittsburgh aren't, amongst many reasons. And again, you can really come up with some good reasons of why people aren't thrilled that he's here. But again, Mike, there are some people, but no matter what way you slice it, there's, it is what it is now. He's here. He's signed. And mandatory minicamp starts tomorrow. And we'll see, Mike. We'll get the word. Maybe he won't make it out of camp. Maybe he'll get hurt there. We don't know. We just don't know, Mike. Again, he's closer to 50 than 30, and 30 is an old person in the NFL. I just think on paper, if everything goes right, it could be kind of good. We could, again, probably be as good or better than we've been in a few years. But it also has potential, Mike, to go the other way as well. So, again, Pittsburgh media wins. They get their story for the next 10 months. Steelers, not so much, because, again, this is the Aaron Rodgers season. We're not going to be talking about anything. The media won't be talking about anything but this man for the next 10 months. Not just our media, the national media. Wait till we start playing games. Wait till we get into the first game of the season against the Jets. You think that's a Steeler game? That is Aaron Rodgers versus the Jets. Nobody cares about the Steelers. It's this is going to be what it is. So again, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what Aaron Rodgers is able to do. And, nobody really cares what the Steelers is going to do besides, the people that are right here in town, our fans across the world. But at the end of the day, the circus is the Aaron Rodgers show. And it is what it is. There's nothing that we could do to change that. If you like it, if you don't. So at this point, let's see what we can do. We looked at the other guy. We looked at Duck Hodges, for crying out loud. We tried Michael Vick. So at this point, I guess he's here. Not much we could do. Let's see what we could do.
Oh, yeah, he's the quarterback of a marquee franchise. Of course, we're going to be talking about him. And the quarterback has.
We were talking about him when he was with the New York Jets constantly. He got more primetime games than anybody else with the Jets. It wasn't about the Jets at all. And they're not a marquee. So again, you're going to be talking about Aaron Rodgers no matter where he lands. If he was a Saint, guess who would be getting all the attention this year?
Yeah, and same thing with Tom Brady, Mahomes,
I don't care about that. I'm
and
talking
Allen
about
and all
yeah,
them. So
right.
I'm
That's
just saying,
fine.
like the quarterbacks of the teams get talked about the most, and
You don't think
MVPs and
it
Super
being
Bowl
Aaron
winners.
Rodgers it makes it different though?
Well, we still have less primetime games than we did last year when everyone
So you're
thought we had.
disputing what I'm saying. You're saying that nobody's going to care about Aaron Rodgers this year. It's going to be all about the
They're
Steelers.
going to care about him, and they're going to talk about the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers.
Well, of course, because that's the uniform he
Yeah,
has on.
but to act like the only reason they're going to talk about the Steelers is because Aaron Rodgers, but
Well,
he's
Mike,
going to be a huge component of it because he's the best quarterback we've had since Big Ben.
well,
And
yeah.
you got a
Tell me
defense
something I don't know.
that's a top 10 defense in the NFL, and you have an offense that has potential to be a top 15 offense, and that's enough to get you into the playoffs and have a good run.
I hope you're
Of
right.
course, we're going to talk about them.
And if you think that's the only reason they're talking about him, you're not insane because, again, I already know what kind of earphones he uses within 24 hours of him being here. This is the circus that is going to be Aaron Rodgers. You're going to know a lot of things about this guy. Maybe when you might want to be hearing some Steelers scoop. But anyway, that's just what it's going to be. Mike's going to prove me wrong in the long run. And you know what? I'll be there for it. Let's jump back on the board here. Let's see. Let's go right here. Kenneth says, I think him and DK were throwing around when DK was missing in OTAs. That's possible. That is possible. Let's see. Jen says the killer bees, Brown, Bell, and the bitch Rogers. I like it. I like it. You're getting Mike's face red, Jen. Please slow down. Mike's getting a little.
You leave my goat alone.
Mark Malone says, and he's a QB. LOL. Mark Malone said he's been injured once in like 15 years. Yeah, and it's been on the plus side of 40 or however old he was. Mark Malone says the estrogen will be flowing amongst the soy boys for sure. Corey Beaver says, my biggest hope is he grooms Mason and Will to be the best. You know what? Poor Mason. That poor guy. He had the whole locker room behind him 2 days ago. Now it's like, Mason who? My biggest hope is that he grooms Mason and Will to be the best versions of himself, and we will have a great year in 2026 while Mason grooms our rookie, or Will Howard becomes the next guy in 2027. And Mark Malone says, hell, I literally never paid attention to Aaron Rodgers before. That's crazy. I got to tell you, the 2 seasons ago, they literally gave the New York Jets more primetime games than any team in the league because of Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't about the Jets at all. And he gets hurt 1 play into the game, whatever it was. So again, I can't imagine how this could end up being a nightmare. But hey, you know what? I'm going to take Mike's word. I'm going to take everybody's word. This is going to be good. We're going to go and win games this year and win extra playoff games perhaps. And things are going to be well. And everything is going to go just as they should, like they always do for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're all going to be happy. You happy, Mike?
I'm happy.
Yeah, see? Mike's happy.
I mean, why wouldn't I be? I get to watch
You're
my
bald.
Pittsburgh Steelers play.
You're bald. That's a start.
Oh, I'm on bald and beautiful. I make this look good.
What was you saying good about the Steelers?
I get to watch my Steelers play. We have, someone who can compete at a high level again.
We hope so. Absolutely. We sure hope so. It's been a year since it's been a while since he's even played last. And again, I know myself in my 40s. Things are a little different with your body now. Yeah, he's in shape. I'm sure he keeps in shape. But again, compared to all the 22-year-olds that fly around that field in their prime years, he's nowhere close to being in shape as these guys are. 15-2. Mark Malone is saying this team is going to be this year Super Bowl contenders.
I'm not going that far.
And Jen says his ego has been injured millions of times. I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for the Steelers nation injures his ego. You never know. It could be interesting, guys. It's going to be interesting to say the least. To think that this is going to be an uneventful season would be insane. This is going to be one of the craziest Pittsburgh Steelers seasons in a long time. Again, Mike, it's going to hopefully play to our advantage in some areas, but there's definitely some areas that I see that it could play against us. Again, we're only at mandatory minicamp. That starts tomorrow. It goes tomorrow through Thursday, and then we'll be back in the end of July for camp. And then after that, it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. We got preseason football, 3 games, and then right into regular season. So it's here. We're in the summer. This is when it all begins, Mike. We were sitting here on June 9th at noon, getting ready for the Steelers. I do want to say good morning to Richard on the board. Always great seeing Richard on the board. And I do remember Vinny Testaverde, of course. Another Jets great that led that team to the promised land. And other teams, of course, the Browns and I think somewhere else. But there you go, guys. This is what's going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike, he coming to the Steelers makes Mr. Great Lamar Jackson the only AFC North quarterback that's never participated in a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Maybe they ought to start giving guys like Joe Burrows the consideration when you talk about things like MVP, because at least, you know what, this guy got him to a Super Bowl. What has Lamar Jackson actually done in the playoffs? Diddly
and poo.
I mean, Joe Flacco, come on, this guy's even been there, done that. So at some point, Mike, they got to be pulling their hair out in Baltimore.
Oh,
because,
they
again,
are.
This is the best chance they've had to win a Super Bowl since 2012.
Yeah,
and they're just not getting it done with what they have.
Oh, like they down in Baltimore, they talk about Harbaugh the way we talk about Tomlin up here, because like, you had your one Super Bowl run. What have you done since? And Lamar, like, you're great in the regular season, but come playoff time, like you know, he's one game and then won another, looking like he's turning the corner, and then just can't get it done. Like, all throughout the regular season, he's like, look at his regular season stats. He's a very good passer in the regular season. Come playoff time, man, he sees that opposite team jersey. He's like, hell yeah, I'm throwing it to that guy. Like, he just can't get it done in the playoffs, where you watch someone like Jalen Hurts, who's the complete opposite. Stumbled his entire way through the regular season, came to Super Bowl. He put up one of the best Super Bowl performances we've seen in a long time. So, yeah, Lamar's a great regular season player. Can't get it done in the playoffs. Kind of like Josh Allen.
Yeah, and the thing about those guys, they're so young. I'm sure they're eventually going to get it done. But as you said, both of these guys, your MVP candidates every year, these two guys just can't get to the Super Bowl. So, you know, it is what it is, Mike. Of course, you know, going back to Aaron Rodgers here, Aaron Rodgers, as you mentioned earlier, he had more, what it was, TD yards or passes or whatever it was last year than Mahomes and Hurts last season. But last year, Fields, Wilson, and Rudolph all had more EPA, YPA, and better accuracy than Aaron Rodgers. So, you know, this is what it is. You're not going to get the perfect Aaron Rodgers that played us in the Super Bowl 15 years ago by any stretch of the imagination. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers for what Aaron Rodgers is. So what you just seen in the past 3 years, that's Aaron Rodgers. You know, if you've seen stuff you don't like, you've seen stuff you like. People could go on about the Jets, but I mean, come on. You know, we get the Jets the first game of the year this year. That will be the first litmus test. Let's see how good this Jets team is against how good we are after we just traded quarterbacks. So, you know what I mean? Get a feel. And I think that game being first is a good thing, Mike.
It is too. And, you know, both quarterbacks are going to be wanting to prove something to the other team, and who's going to rise to the occasion. And, you know, historically, Rodgers has been able to, and Fields has not. So historically, a slight edge to Pittsburgh. And, you know, once again, we're starting on the road, so we're used to that.
Let me get into some of these messages. Right here, Kenneth says Steeler fans will boo him if he sucks. I think that will incentivize him. The Steelers would. Richard says. Mark says he played till like 44. Who was 44? I have a short memory.
Maybe Brady.
Yeah, that's what Brady. But Brady's the GOAT. I don't compare him with anybody.
Roger Staubach played till he was like 90.
The thing is, Rodgers won 1 Super Bowl. Tom Brady won 7. Even Ben won 2 and been to 3. So I shudder to even put him in a category. He's in the same category as Drew Brees, a really good quarterback who got it done once. But at the end of the day, you know, he wasn't winning the championship at all throughout the rest of his career. He came in, 08? Here we are, 2025. 1 championship. You know, so is at the end of the day, when championships and rings matter, you know, he wasn't really getting it done. He got it done one time by 6 points over. That's right, our Steelers, Mike. He stopped us from winning the Super Bowl once. People were saying he's going to stop us from winning the Super Bowl again this year. That's still up for debate. A lot of time, a lot of things could happen. But my concern is this: does this get us over the hump to keep us in games against good teams, against the teams that we couldn't even stand on the same field as last year? Just last year, with another Hall of Fame quarterback, arguably, you know, I wouldn't say as good as Aaron Rodgers overall, but I mean, it is what it is. It's the same situation. So we're going to run it back. Like, we have no choice.
No, we don't.
What else do I have here, Mike? I do have Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen. We talked a little bit about Josh Allen. I do have their comparisons from last season. Aaron Rodgers did pass for more than Josh Allen last year, 3,897 yards. Josh Allen's 37-31. Josh Allen has a slightly higher completion percentage last season over Rodgers with 63.6. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers was 63%. They both had the same amount of touchdown passes with 28. Aaron Rodgers threw 11 interceptions. Josh Allen only threw 6. And bad throw percentage, Aaron Rodgers has 17.3%, and Josh Allen had 18.7%. So, Mike, I mean, comparable. I want to see him playing outside of the AFC East for starters. I don't think that division provides much competition. So I think those numbers change a little bit going up against the Ravens and going up against the Bengals or the Browns defense and the Bengals offense. I think those teams add elements that he didn't see playing against the Patriots, playing against the Dolphins. You know, the Bills were, they were a challenge, of course, but it's definitely going to be a tougher division, Mike, from top to bottom for Aaron Rodgers to compete in, especially 1 year older. That's going to be a concern for me as well, Mike. Seeing the Ravens twice, seeing the Browns defense twice, seeing the Bengals offense twice. This isn't anything that he's had to deal with, even in the NFC, Mike. I mean, the AFC North is kind of its own beast.
It is, but, Russell Wilson beat those teams. So
Russell Wilson went 6-5 last year.
But he beat those teams. The Steelers won 6-5.
He lost to some of those teams.
Yeah, Steelers lost to some of those teams.
And that wasn't Russell. Okay, Cam.
It's not all. No.
Hold on. So you're saying that it's all the Steelers' fault when they lost.
No. Wins and losses aren't just a quarterback.
But you just went against what you're saying, though. You said, "Oh yeah, he won this many games." And when I said how many games, the Steelers lost.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying the Steelers won those games with Russell Wilson in there.
They won.
It's safe to assume that they would win those games with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's pure speculation. We could go by what we've seen last year because Justin Fields was 4-2, and Russell Wilson was 6-5. So again. Who knows, Mike? Who knows? Once you throw this shit against the wall, what it's going to come out looking like. We could take all these numbers, we could crunch these numbers, we could make it into whatever we want to do, but it is going to be what it is going to be. And again, we're not going to know. We're not going to know until the games start, Mike. In September.
Yeah, I'm not going to know until September. What is that? 12th, 11th, 10th, somewhere in that range.
I don't know, but it's against the Jets, and I think that that's going to be again. The most exciting game of the season that week. Why? Because it's the Steelers versus the Jets? Absolutely not. Because Aaron Rodgers is playing against the Jets is why it is. Let me jump back on the board here. Corey says, I'll tell you what I think. If our offense could stay on the field 50% of the time on average, then our defense could carry us to the playoff run. But if we struggle on offense again, then we'll be 9-8, 10-7. In theory, the offense should be better, guys. The offensive line is another year older. The injured is healthy. DK instead of George to maybe not make some of the dumb decisions that George made as a veteran. Maybe DK could be different there. Roman Wilson is back. We have 19. We're working on 20 tight ends. We have a rookie running back who's being said that he could be an instant playmaker with this Caleb Johnson running side by side with Jalen Warren. So in theory, this offense should be a lot better. It should be a lot better. So, you know what? If it isn't, I guess that's the bigger disappointment here. And with the highest paid defense in the league, this should all work out, right? I mean, if you're looking at it this way, offense should be better. We went 10-7 last year. Is that what we went? 10-7? 10-7.
Yeah, 10-7.
So in theory, we should be better than that. Things are better. Situations are better. So again, we will see. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers can do. I mean, at the end of the year is the only way we could have this argument in its entirety to where someone could be right and someone could be wrong. Again, very, very early. He just signed Saturday. He is in town. He's going to be in mandatories this tomorrow through Thursday. Aaron Rodgers, of course, I'm talking about. And we won't know. We won't know until it's done, Mike. We could be in the playoffs. We could be winning games. We could, or it could take a strange, weird turn, as it could very well do. But again, Mike, we will not know. That's why they play the game, right?
Exactly. So why they play 17? And with either we're gonna finish where we did last year, or it could be a complete disaster. And guess what? We're still gonna be in line to draft another quarterback next year to get.
We've seen disasters for so many years now. I guess we're kind of numb to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like it's just another Steelers season, man. It's going to be full of ups and downs, and we'll assess it at the end of the year and see if whether it was a good year or not.
Richard hits the point on that nail on the head. We wouldn't have been talking about the Steelers team during this offseason without Aaron Rodgers. If this would have just been another offseason for the Steelers, it would have been very little to say about this team.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Rodgers is the catalyst here, guys. It's going to drive the storylines all season. There's no surprises there. So, as Steeler fans, we have to kind of suck up our pride here and see what this 1 year rental can do, and in the fact that we're hoping another bridge quarterback can we'll get 500. I'm going to say we're not going to finish lower than 500. Tomlin's record is safe. I think under Mason Rudolph it might have been in jeopardy, but I think Aaron Rodgers is good enough that we'll make sure. I mean, come on, all these other guys, Mike, only Mason Rudolph of these 10 quarterbacks that we just went through. Or I'm sorry, only Mitch Trubisky has a losing record.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that Aaron's probably going to have a winning record.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying easily. Unless there's major issues everywhere on this team.
And that's the coach really got to make sure this team is tight this year. I mean, come on. We got to get it together. This team's got to get it together, Mike, from top to bottom. Just things that you see throughout the season, like, they got to, let's put together a good damn season for once and see what we can do. On the board again, Mike. Mark Malone's going on about Vinny Testaverde.
That was who was 44. It was Big Vinny.
Oh, he was 44. Imagine that. I wonder why he did so great. Kenneth said Allen's run game changes the narrative. Absolutely. 100%. His running game is what makes him special, on top of being able to throw the ball like he does. Him and Lamar, they're kind of the same, but kind of different. I like the way them two guys are. One of them is going to win a championship soon. I guarantee it. They're just too good not to.
It's
these guys go through, especially with the good teams. Mike, they're not on bad teams. This isn't Lamar Jackson playing with the Arizona Cardinals. This isn't Josh Allen playing with the Saints. These are good teams that are built around these guys. I expect to see one of them in the Super Bowl sooner than later.
Yeah, and it's just going to be which one can limit their mistakes in the playoffs.
Right.
Because in that big game, man, you'll see Josh Allen, he'll make that wow play to, get the score close or take a lead. Defense gives it up, and he comes back out there and throws a back-breaking interception or a fumble. It happens. Same thing with Lamar. It's like those are guys, they play so well and so fun to watch. You want to see them win a championship if they were on different team for Lamar, definitely. But it's come on, guys.
And you always say, Mike, the term that you always use, these two guys have trouble getting out of their own way in the playoffs.
Exactly. It's they want to do too much. They want to be the hero instead of taking that smart play. But you know what? What got them to that position? Being the hero, taking the chances. So it's hard. Ben was the same way, taking that chance because it usually works out for you.
And I gotta be honest, it's a problem that I didn't hate having.
Oh no, I'd love to have either of those quarterbacks and deal with their ups and downs because the highs are a lot higher than their valleys.
Absolutely. I always said that Allen is the Buffalo Bills Ben Roethlisberger. The guy, I mean, he looked up to him, he idolized him, and it's no surprise the guy has a very similar style and a lot of things that you see about him. I mean, not the same exact style, but again, he is their Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to be what it is that gets it done in Buffalo, if in fact they could ever get it done in Buffalo. Again, sitting at 0-4, a Vikings-Bills Super Bowl, again, would be the ultimate loser Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be great.
To see which one of those teams could actually get their first Super Bowl win, Mike.
It would go into 7 overtimes.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Because each franchise's, history would just come out and bite them in the ass. Missed field goals left and right from both organizations.
Oh, would that be something, man? A couple more things here on our boy, AR-12. Locker room's going to be interesting, Mike, especially just the one story that we heard when Deshaun Elliott said that Aaron Rodgers just leave his old ass at the retirement home.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not just us fans. People are, amongst each other in the locker room, I'm sure, and texting one another. And, people are, so it's not just us. It's not just the media. It's not just the fans. This is it's a circus. This is going to be a circus.
I think their career overlapped at one point on the Jets, maybe. Because there's a picture of them both sitting around after a workout. smiling with each other. So
Just smiling at each other.
yeah, they're sitting there just cheesing it up. But hey, to quote Jack Ham, winning builds chemistry. So as long as they win, things are going to be happy. The chemistry will be there. Now, if they start losing, that's when you got to worry.
A couple other things about Aaron Rodgers you might want to hear to what your whistle, Mike. He has the highest career touchdown interception ratio with a 4.3 in history, and also has the lowest interception percentage in his career, Mike, at a 1.4 in history. So again, it's hard to say because he's going to be 42. It's what and that's going to be a question that isn't going to be able to answer till game day, until he steps out on the field and shows us what this 42-year-old is able to do. Otherwise, he's our 42-year-old quarterback.
Right. Well, good thing is too, he's only here for the year, and that's it. So there's no long-term commitment. And if his arm falls off, guess what? We got Mason Rudolph to be our backup, and he was
penciled in to be the guy.
Penciled in to be the guy if we didn't land Rodgers, run with him, Skylar Thompson, and Will Howard. So, shows the Steelers are comfortable with either way right there.
Richard says, I hope to be proven wrong. Hope Aaron takes it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Don't get me wrong. I want to win. In this season, my team has Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. So I hope to be proven wrong. Believe me, there's nothing more I want to see than this team do well and get in this playoffs and win playoff games. I want to get back to that. It's been a long time. Longest ever in the Super Bowl era for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mark Malone, dude, it'll be way, way, way better. 15-2. Mark Malone is calling. We got a pretty tough division, Mark. We got the NFC North. We got the Detroit Lions, Minnesota, both winning 15 games last year. We got the Bills. Yeah, we play the Bills. So, there's going to be some tough games. No two ways about that. But 15-2, that's a good goal to shoot for. No two ways about it. Corey says Tomlin has to realize he's not infallible and make in-season adjustments as needed, no matter whose feelings he hurts or what vet he has to take the back seat. His pride sucks. Mark says the running game is going to absolutely blow your mind. I hope you're right, man. And it should. It should certainly be pretty good. Again, the offensive line. Another year together. They're healthy. Hopefully they can stay that way. And, and this kid's going to want to show what he can do. This Caleb Johnson, no two ways about it, alongside Jaylen Warren. So, I tend to lean that way as well. Mark, I hope you're right, bro. Mark says Testaverde actually didn't start playing well until about 40 years of age.
Hey, man, sometimes it takes a while for quarterbacks to develop.
Hey, Joe Flacco's still working on it. Even when he won that Super Bowl, remember how much of an up in the air, like he would just throw that ball up in the air and hope for the best.
Somehow he got Super Bowl MVP. It's
I tell you what, if it wasn't for Ray Lewis and company, that guy wouldn't have won any Super Bowl. So giving him the MVP is insane.
Yeah, because it more or less for him, that MVP award was a playoff MVP because he did not have that great of a Super Bowl. And it's kind of like the year when Ben won that first one. If there was a playoff MVP, he would have had it because those 3 games he was on fire. Super Bowl, not at all.
Yeah, he had amazing.
But made plays when he needed 3 games.
Jen says, I want to win too. It's going to kill my pride, or it's going to kill me to cheer for him. I will put my pride aside, though. And that's what we're all going to have to eventually do. Because what are our other options? This is our team. This is what we do for 18 weeks during the year. At the end of the day, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and hope for the best. And you know what? That's the frustrating part. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. So we're going to bite into it. Oh, look what Aaron's doing. Oh, look at us. We're scoring more touchdowns. Look at us. We're not getting the 3 and outs. Look at us. We're able to move the ball. But we'll see at what cost. We'll see what else goes down. And again, are the questions being answered, Mike? Our new quarterback as of Saturday is in town. He got his contract signed. Mini camp tomorrow through Thursday.
Oh, yeah, baby.
We're gonna get to see him out there in a Steeler helmet throwing the ball around, and maybe when it's all said and done, we'll all be a little bit more excited, and I think we will be once we get close to the season. I think we'll all start to get excited. Look, we got a good quarterback. He might be able to do this. He might be able to do that. But if he doesn't accomplish those things, boy, will Pittsburgh people hate that man for the rest of ever when the season is over. So that's what I'm saying. There's potential for this guy to actually be the most hated guy in Pittsburgh. Just 8 months down the road. So I mean, again, I that's why I can't commit. I can't commit to this just yet because again, it's very possible that we will hate this man depending how this season turns out. Maybe it comes down to one game, and usually we're used to seeing this guy throw touchdowns in a situation, and he throws a pick or something, and then all of a sudden he becomes Neil O'Donnell, and the history on that, guys. Mike, who are some names? I've been hearing a couple names. First, I do want to say that Gabe Davis, Mike, he's down there visiting the Saints after not signing a contract. I guess he's been dealing with injuries. Was one of the reasons that he didn't. More didn't happen here. I guess he's talking with the Saints right now. Mike, who else is on the list possibly now that Aaron Rodgers is in town? Because I hear some speculations he wants to bring old teammates in and do what it is that Aaron does. And who are some names that you've been hearing, Mike?
It's still the same names. Gabe Davis, maybe taking a look at Amari Cooper. They're monitoring the situation down in Washington with Terry McLaurin. So it's
Mike. Would you give all that stuff up for Terry McLaurin that you're seeing?
No, I'm not giving up a first rounder in 2026 for him.
Yeah, nope. not at our draft.
Nope. No. God, no. That's a no-go for me.
I mean, he could be one of the best receivers we've had in quite some time. I mean, we're getting that guy if that's the case.
Like, if you give up that first round, then it's Super Bowl or bust at that point.
Yeah.
You have to win a Super Bowl because now you got to trade back up, and you have to give up next year's 2027 first rounder to move up anywhere into the 2026 draft to hopefully land one of the quarterbacks that's there. So
it's going to be Mason Rudolph thrown to DK Metcalf and McLaurin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not giving up a first round for him. I'd listen for it like a second. I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah,
but then you got to sign him to a contract, and I'm okay with that. He's getting up there in age, but I think he still has another 3 to 4 good years left in him, easily.
Who, McLaurin?
Yeah, McLaurin.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he sure does. And I got to tell you, he was super. Last year, because the speculation came up, Mike, this McLaurin, can we get him? Is he somebody that we want? And then after I seen him play last year in that Redskins offense, I really thought, wow, we sure missed out on this guy. He's something special.
Yeah, because he was really good with some bad quarterbacks down there. And this, were they going to build with Jaden Daniels around, keep him there or trade him for pieces to go and get guys? But then they decided, you know what, we're going to keep him here. We really believe in Jaden Daniels. And then you see why. His worst year was his rookie year where he only had 900 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Exactly.
So he's been a consistent 1,000-yard guy every year. Damn good route runner, damn good player. It's just, they're not going to get rid of him. Last year would have been the time to get him, but they really committed to Jaden Daniels once they got him into the facility and go, oh, we got something here.
Yeah, that was smart of them for sure. I'm like, what about these rumors? Now, I heard this over the weekend, and I don't know if it's true. It could be. It might not be. I heard the Steelers were taking a look at what's going on with Chase Claypool.
I haven't heard that at all.
Okay.
Oh, God, no.
Hopefully that's a rumor. I read it and it said he had 9 touchdowns his rookie season or 7 or whatever it was. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Chase Claypool back in this offense? Yeah, I mean, if he came out with played the same way he did it in his rookie year, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but no, that he hasn't come close to doing anything like that.
Anything?
No.
You might as well bring Deontay back. Let's bring back the squad.
No, that's not going to happen.
All them guys that start dropping the balls, and let's bring Washington. He could fit in that offense as well. Let's get back to some of the some of the messages here, Mike. I believe we were right here. Oh, John, what's up, brother? Nice seeing you on the board this afternoon, or the morning, I guess would still be for you out in Vegas. This one is for Corey Beavers. After signing Rodgers, the Steelers still have a 2.4% chance to win the Super Bowl. 2.4, guys. We're moving up. Mike, with Aaron Rodgers on the team, we will have one of the 32 best offenses in the league. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, I saw that.
It is guaranteed, Mike.
Yeah, we will have one of the top 32 offenses.
It won't be any lower. I promise you.
Yeah,
things are happening, baby. Corey says if we give up first for Terry, then that's telling me they want Will Howard to be the exactly. Very good point, Corey. And then John says, Mark Malone, aren't you the guy who thinks Tomlin can't win another Super Bowl? A couple other things here, Mike, about the Steelers. Good news that I think a lot of people are going to like to hear about our rookie Zach Frazier, Mike. They are saying he already walks and talks like a veteran within the Steelers clubhouse. Mike, this guy, if he's not that your center, if he's not your Mike Webster, if he's not your Dirk Dawson, if he's not your Marquise Pouncey, I would be very surprised, Mike. I think this guy is the anchor of this Steelers football team, this offensive line for the next 10 years. Easy. He has that personality. He has that work effort. And again, people in the locker room are already saying he walks and talks like a veteran. Mike, you gotta love Zach Frazier.
I love it, and especially when your center is walking and talking and acting like a vet. That's huge, man. You have that guy who can control that offensive line because he's the one who makes all the calls for the O-line, and that's huge. And you have a good center, and you can build around that, and hopefully your two bookends coming around into form. That's a damn good sign. If he's the leader of that group already, I fucking love it.
I gotta like it, Mike. As I said, as a rookie stepping in as he did, and to be able to walk out the other end where people were saying that they have confidence in him, and he looks like a veteran and a leader. Those are great things. There's no doubt in my mind that he is that guy, Mike. He is the Mike Webster, the Dirk Dawson, the Marquise Pouncey of this time. Zach Frazier, we were lucky to get him, Mike. It was him and that JPJ. And you had mentioned last week about they're already sticking Frazier as the top 3. I looked at that list, Mike, and JPJ wasn't even on that list.
Yeah.
So we made the right call.
Yeah. I was like, I would have been okay with either one, but I'm glad it came out to be Frazier. And it's funny that the two guys above him on the list, Limbaugh and Creed Humphreys, are two of the centers I wanted.
Yeah, they sure
we finally got our guy in Zach Frazier.
And he's right up top with them. So there you go, Mike.
That's awesome.
All right, let's get back on the board here. Okay, Mark Malone says, I don't even think Tomlin can fuck this up. Now that's a big
that's a actual ringing endorsement from Mark Malone right there.
Yeah. And let's see. Kenneth says that Corey, good point. I hope Howard gets over, and if he does, they're giving JJ a shot over Minnesota. So, let's see what these Big Ten top quarterbacks could do if that be the case. I have somewhat confidence in the kid. And again, he's the kid with so much he could learn, so much he could do. And if that be the case, I want to see who they got coming out next year in the draft for one. I think that's going to be step one.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to it, Mike, and we got it, and we're going to take a chance on Will Howard, I don't think I'm going to hate it at the end of the day. But let's crawl before we walk, because we have this we have the circus to go through before we could even get to that point. So again, Mike, mandatory mini camp tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Aaron Rodgers is here. He is in town. He is signed. We know that he does not wear Bluetooth earbuds because it messes with his brain frequency. He only uses the wire earphones. This is within the first hour of him being here. We know that his brain frequency is all goofy. He has a wedding ring on. Believe me, the fun has just started. The fun has just started.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be about football all summer. There's going to be a lot of soap opera talk. If you turn into any of the media channels here in Pittsburgh, for sure. But this is where we're at, guys. Let me hop back on the board. Kenneth Jones says Tomlin will probably be hands off the offense this year. And as I said earlier, Kenny, they were already on the phone. I forget where my note is here, but apparently they were on the phone. Him, Arthur Smith, and Mike Tomlin already talking about reshaping the offense. So, you know what I mean? That's very good. At this point, Kenny Pickett was forgetting his playbook in the car, and it got stolen. At this point, you see what I'm saying? So for the quarterback to be so zoomed in, and so, Mike, here we are, June 9, and our quarterback is so zoomed into what it is he wants to do, where he's on the phone with Arthur, he's on the phone with Tomlin, he's trying to reshape and make this offense work. I guess that's as good as you're going to get, guys. Again, with other quarterbacks, maybe they're not zoomed in. Russell Wilson was doing great things when he was here early. He was going to hospitals and helping people. But as far as on-field product, Aaron Rodgers, guys, is you love to hear this on June 9th, that the quarterback is on the phone with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. So you could very well very well be right, Kenny. That's a very good possibility that it's ran. I don't want to say ran more by Aaron, but it might be ran a little bit more by Aaron than what we've seen in the past.
Heavily influenced by?
Heavily influenced would be a good way to put it. John says Fields left the players coach because he didn't want to be handcuffed anymore. Tomlin's conservative philosophy will never change. Corey says, Mike Tomlin, hold this hot dog. I'll show the ingredients later. I have a third and long play to draw. Yeah. A long draw play to run. Sorry.
So that's the old Rod Hareheart play from back in the day, too. Third and long. Hand it off to Eric Pegram up the middle.
Here's some around the NFL, a couple stories, Mike. Nick Chubb expected to sign with the Houston Texans. That's going to help them. You know, and he's a guy that nobody's touching, and I can't quite understand why. I think that I would like to have him on my team, even if I already have a guy. Even if he's going to be a 1-2 punch guy. I would love to have the way that guy runs the ball. I would be far more confident with him than people might be with Aaron Rodgers. But at the end of the day, Nick Chubb, Mike, looks like he's going to be heading to the Texans.
That'd be a good pickup for them. I would have liked to have him too, but after the draft and what we have, I really like our running back room. I think he'd just be mixed in there, not getting a ton of carries to make him effective, and that would lessen the effectiveness of Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren.
And I think the offense, and I agree with you. I think the running back room is great, and I think Gainwell is going to be a big part of that, being a third down guy. Just to have a third down guy who's really a third down guy as your third down guy. If you have Caleb and Jalen doing a majority of the workload, and you bring in a Super Bowl third down back, again, things should in fact be better. So maybe Mike, maybe at the end of the day, things are going to be a lot better than everyone's expecting. Things are being done to make things better.
Yeah, because when you take a step back and look at the roster and start analyzing like the players of like where they fit into the system that they want to do, you can see why they're doing things that they're doing. And Jalen Warren can still be in every down back. Caleb Johnson right now they're working heavily with him on pass pro because they want him to eventually be a third down back or an all three down back as well. And then Gainwell, he works well in the passing game, not so well on the pass protection, but those little flare out passes to him. He's
a good third down back.
Yeah, and when you want to go heavy pass pro, you put Jalen Warren in there, and he still has decent hands, but Gainwell was such a better receiver than Jalen is. So they all have their niche that they fill in well into that offense to where you can see what they want to do, the plan that they have.
Not to mention, Mike, that he's coming from a winning culture.
Exactly.
Him and Slay. I mean, this Philadelphia team has done nothing but win over the past 7 years.
And that's what I think Slay was saying, like, I'm here to one play and win, but also I'm going to work with the young guys. I'm going to work with everyone about the bringing back a winning culture. We won Super Bowls more recently than here. We want to show this team how let's get back on track because now we're Steelers. They're bought into the philosophy of like, okay, we're no longer Eagles. We're Pittsburgh Steelers, and let's go. Let's win. We want to win and compete.
It's like not like the guys that come to the Pirates, they put on Pittsburgh uniforms and they stink all of a sudden. This is the Steelers. These guys are expecting to come here, they're expecting to win, and I expect to see that as well from these guys. Again, coming from that winning culture in Philadelphia, you got to like that for some of these guys that we did pick up on in the offseason. Mark Malone says, I do believe Rodgers is going to feed the Roman well. You know what? I agree. He's going to be the guy that's going to be able to hit those quick slants, Mike. He's going to hit your slot receivers on a slant. He's going to hit those tight ends where maybe before you weren't hitting your tight ends. I think those kind of things are going to be some of the changes we're going to like to see when Aaron Rodgers gets out there, Mike. Some of the things that some of the unexperienced guys that we had in there that they weren't seeing, plays that they weren't being able to make, and again the pre-snap offense, Mike. Just everything that he's going to be able to do and see before the ball is snapped is such an improvement from anything that we've had since Ben Roethlisberger. Again, Mike, you're looking at these names of the Landry Jones, Michael Vick, Rudy, Duck, Mitch, Kenny, Fields. Wilson. So again, um, Mike, he's better than any of those guys, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's better than a lot of those guys.
He's better than all of them guys.
Yeah,
Ultimately, at the end of the day.
and like him getting the ball out quick, like DK on a quick slant. Look out, Calvin Austin on a quick slant. You get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying. Now we're going to be able to utilize our guys to their potential. Hopefully, as you said, Austin on a slant, or I just again, go back and watch Aaron play a little bit. And I don't know if I'm warming up to this just yet, but you know what? Again, at the end of the day, I understand this is going to be what it's going to be, and I have to accept it. But I watched Aaron play that game the other night. I was talking about against Seattle when he was with Green Bay, and he just brings so much, Mike. Again, he comes out, he sees things that certainly the younger guys they didn't see, and he had the potential to make amazing things happen. So again, we got to keep that in the back of our mind as we do get a little closer to the season, as things can get better, I guess. And at the end of the day, maybe we won't hate this guy, but at the end of the day, again, Mike, he can be the Neil O'Donnell when it's all said and done. We don't know. Yeah. Kenny says I would have taken Chubb in a heartbeat. Yeah, me too. Especially if I'm a team that needs a running back. We're kind of in a situation where we got something going on. But if you're a team that needed a running back, I would have certainly jumped on him. I think Houston's going to probably be in a little bit better shape because of it. Yinzers, good point, Mike. Too late for Chubb to get good use now. Johnson will be ready in pass pro. He's committed. John, the good news is Rodgers' old ass isn't mobile, but he gets rid of the ball quickly. The bad news is Rodgers can't move and throws the ball quickly. Follows that up by saying Rodgers has 20 years of reading D's. That gift is still that's one of the things that I'm happy about, is his ability to read the defense. Probably better than damn near everybody else in this league right now. Who's done it more? Nobody. So for those things, there's certainly pros and cons to Aaron Rodgers. No two ways about it. There's going to be things that you like. There's going to be things that you dislike. Mike, and even if Aaron doesn't work out, even if next year's draft pick doesn't work out, it's okay, because Phillip Rivers' kids are now getting to the age to where they are going to be NFL draft picks like every other year. You
just pick a Rivers, baby.
Just pick a Rivers.
Yeah.
The thing is, they're going to be able to throw the ball.
Might not look pretty if they got dad's throwing motion, but
But look at this. Every 1 to 2 years, you're gonna have more Rivers kids in this league than anything I've ever seen. So there you go. If you don't have your quarterback right now, don't be too discouraged. The Rivers are on their way. Let's see. Corey says I'd cut Gainwell for Chubb immediately.
I wouldn't.
He's just kind of what we need for that position. We need a third down back that could catch the ball out of the backfield. And the fact that we did grab Caleb Johnson and the success that Jalen Warren's had, that's where it makes it a difficult decision, to where you probably don't want to bring in the older running back at this point. Yeah, they kind of have something going on again, is kind of what I was saying. Yeah. But
and that knee injury, how bad it was, how healthy is that knee, and the wear and tear in a running back and stuff like that.
I mean, if he can stay 100%, Mike, he's gonna do some good things. But again, that's a big injury. You've seen his leg go backwards like I did. Just psychologically, it f's with you.
I just like I like the running back room we have. They complement each other well. And it's like, what if one goes down? You can kind of slot the other one in that spot, and you're not going to lose a whole lot.
John saying only Brady was better at reading D's, but Brady was amazing, maybe the best at reading defenses. But that's something that we certainly have been missing out, as a quarterback that could step up to the line, pre-play, pre-snap, and make things happen. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing. No two ways about with Aaron on the team. John saying Chubb will never be the same. You know what? Unfortunately, a lot of times that's the case. I mean, he's such a beast, though. That's what makes me think about him. You know what I mean? The guy's like, his body is a rock. So I don't know. It's psychological. No two ways about it. That injury many times has ended many careers in the NFL. Also, Mike, related to Pittsburgh Steelers, former nose tackle, two-time winning Super Bowl champion Chris Hoke, his son Lincoln Hoke, who goes to North Allegheny, has committed to Pitt. Mike, he is a defensive lineman. Lincoln Hoke will be playing for the Pitt Panthers moving forward.
I saw that. That's awesome, man. Like, these guys are still like stayed in the area, and their kids
Right.
are going, like he's going to a local school. Ike Taylor's still in the area, but his kid went to Notre Dame. Like a lot of Steeler
Right.
kids went up to Notre Dame. It felt like 3 of them went up there. You got Porter went to Penn State. That's awesome. You can see their dads play. Now their kids are going off to like big time universities.
Yeah. You know what, Kenneth? I must have seen the same thing. Kenneth says I saw Chubb squatting like 1 billion pounds this year. That was a lot of weight on that damn bar. I don't know how much it was, but that's what I'm saying. The guy's a beast.
Are ridiculous.
There's no two ways about it. He's a beast. He still is a beast. But you know, in a league where you need top notch at everything, I guess that's where the knock is against him. He's a little older with that injury. I think that would take him down off of the pedestal that a lot of people would have him on. And John also goes on to say lateral movement and cuts usually suffer after the knee blowouts. He's not wrong. Corey says, I just shuddered thinking about having running back strictly for passing because we don't do it well. We don't utilize a strong screen because a game since Bell. So have 3 bruisers sounds better to me. Yeah, I mean, that's arguable. That's arguable either way. Again, I just don't know if what they want out of Caleb Johnson, if they wanted to divide that anymore with another, every down back. But it's going to be interesting. We haven't had a really, if I'm remembering right, we haven't had a really great third down back since my favorite was Mueldy Moore. If you guys remember how damn productive he was on third downs, it was unbelievable to have a third down back that was able to get it done every time and to be able to do what it was he needed to do every time a third down came around. I'm hoping that that's what we were able to get with Gainwell because you know what? That's why we brought him in. And again, with the screens, things like this, new offensive line, Aaron Rodgers. Hey, maybe we'll see what. Again, we just got to take all this shit, throw it against the wall, see what it comes out as, and again, in theory, things should be a little better, right?
Yeah, a whole hell of a lot better. I'm hoping.
We're hoping. Fingers crossed, right? A couple other things here on town, Mike. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they beat they beat Detroit City 2-0. Their next game is Saturday where they take on Indy 11 at 7:00. The Riveters, they draw, Mike. They draw 1-1 with Erie Sports Center. Their next game is against Steel City. Now, I don't know much about this women's league just yet, but the Riveters are playing Steel City Wednesday at 7:00 p.m.
But Riveters need to take that name back, whoop their asses, and steal their name.
Mike, the matchup between the Fever and the Chicago Sky went down over the weekend without Caitlin Clark. So, maybe give Angel Reese the edge. Mike, Angel Reese in this big game scores 4 points as her team gets beat by 30. Damn near 30 points, 79-52. No Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever, Mike, they get the win over their rivals, Chicago Sky, with their star player, Angel Reese, who scores 4 points. Mike, I think the Fever is going to be fine when Caitlin Clark gets back. Watch out.
Yeah, you hope that this is the turnaround game. Whoop ass on your supposed rivals and then take the league by storm. Hopefully. Yeah,
things are looking good. Again, if you could beat that team and you could beat them by 30 points and hold Angel Reese to 4. Again, I think she's a little overrated, but to say the name and to say that she scored 4 points, it's always going to have a little bit of value. So
yeah.
And again,
2 of something shooting, it was not pretty.
Yeah, right.
It looks like her shooting has regressed from last year to this year.
Oh yeah, she's worried. She worries about the wrong shit.
Yeah,
I mean, did you see her coming into the game when she had her outfit and she's looking at?
Yeah,
bro, you scored 4 points. Come on, nobody gives a fuck about no outfit.
Yeah. Now, if you were out there scoring 20 points, getting 12 boards a game, you could do that stuff. But you're putting up 4 and 12, and most of those rebounds are your rebounds. You don't want to be doing that shit.
Corey says Moore carried our run game with the injuries to our room that year. He had an unbelievable season. I loved
that year.
I loved having Mueldy Moore as that third down back. It was something like I don't know if I've seen a third down back in my life in Pittsburgh that was able to get it done like him.
Yeah.
Phil, what's up, Phil? Still always great to see you, my brother. What's going on? He says, "What's up, you Yinzers? Don't matter what happens in 2025. It's going to be 90's fault." You know what? Not the coaches. I think that this is going to be a good season for TJ. I think it's the contract year. I think he gets his contract. I think he goes out and plays out of his mind. No, we got you on that. I think he plays out of his mind. I think TJ, does he get 22 sacks? I don't think, but I think he's going to have a season better than he's probably had in the past couple of years. I watch for TJ to have a good year.
Especially if the offense, again, is out there longer, supposedly, they will be better. That's right. What we keep hearing. So it's good. That's another thing to watch this year. If the offense takes off, and that defense should be better too. And if not, they need to be held accountable as well, because that's one more excuse.
Goes the way it's supposed to, goes the way you want it to, things will be good. Because as you said, that's going to be a big part of it. Defense will get better because the offense ain't coming off the field every 3 plays. And, so in theory, Mike, things should in fact be better.
Should be.
John says they're all lesbians. Their down low team name is the Beaver Hounds. I like it. I like it a lot. I just seen something the other day. What was it? I can't remember. It was something local that played on the word beaver, and I thought it was pretty funny. I'll have to try to find it, Mike. I can't remember what it was. But let me finish up again with these Pittsburgh Pirates. Again, Mike, they get their first series win of the season, their first sweep of the season, their first 3-game winning streak of the season, Mike. The Pittsburgh Pirates with a sweep over state rival Philadelphia Phillies. They win Friday night 5-4. They win Saturday 2-1, and yesterday they win 2-1 in a game where Skeens gets yanked late in the game after having a great game. He doesn't end up getting the win because of this, which they're the Pirates, but Mike, Buccos sweep the Phillies. Another NL East team series starts today as the Marlins come to town. 6:40. They play game 1 of 3, with probables being Mike Burrows is getting the start for the Pirates with a 1-1 record of 5.27 ERA, 11 strikeouts so far, and Yuri Perez getting his first appearance of the season. Mike, zeros across the board.
Yeah,
that game is at 6:40. This is game 7 of the 9-game homestand. Pirates are looking good, possibly turning the corner, Mike.
Maybe, but don't forget, they do this every year.
Yeah,
they have one section of the season that gives fans and the media hope and hype, and people start to buy into it. Then guess what happens? They fall back into form of being inconsistent. So I will not believe it until the season is over. Like I'm not getting bound up into anything. Any hype. I'm not going to try and tuck myself into it. They are what they are until they prove otherwise.
And again, at it today, Mike, Marlins, Pirates. I don't have their record in front of me, but again, it's better. Of course, you win 3 games against Philadelphia. So let's keep hoping that the Pirates could win, Mike. Let's get us to the Steelers season. That's all.
Yeah. Real quick, Paul Skeens' rankings amongst NL starting pitchers. First in starts with 13. First in inning pitched, 83 1/3. Second in ERA, 2.05. First in WHIP, 0.88. Sixth in strikeouts, 85. First in WAR, 3.3. 22nd in wins with 4.
He's going to win the Cy Young Award with 4 wins. I mean, come on.
Right?
He's the best pitcher in the league, but he has 4 wins. It's insane.
Yeah. Like a buddy of mine at work, we were talking about that. Like he can have a Cy Young season, but will have a losing record. And then it's find out, do they take the team stat into equation when it comes to Paul Skeens? Because like, what if someone has like a 20-win season and then put every other number it's less than Skeens?
I think
that's a real debate right there. Yeah, I'd give it to Skeens.
I've seen pitchers on bad teams win it before.
Yeah, but with like a losing record, that's going to be tough.
Mark Malone, yeah, I think TJ has another 20-sack season this year. I love Mark Malone's optimism. I really do.
Yeah.
Every time we're feeling down, I read a Mark Malone comment. And John says we will find out this year if it was the team killing TJ on the same side, or was it him? He needs to move around more. Absolutely. Especially this year. I think you got to move him around a little bit more. You can't put him in that same exact spot, Mike. I mean, he lines up in the same spot and does the same thing. He's becoming easier to block as the season goes on, is what I'm noticing.
Yeah, they did it early, and then, Highsmith got hurt, and then a couple other players got banged up, and then they just went back to the base. But, he needs to not have an injury down the stretch again.
Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinzers.com. We got the merch store over there. We got the links to all of our social media. And we got a new little article up about Aaron Rodgers. Check it out at The2dumbyinzers. Yinzers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. Mike puts a lot of work into it. He got his new blog up this week. Go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, Mike, question of the day. Aaron Rodgers is the oldest Steeler ever. He's going to be 42 during the season this year. Prior to Aaron Rodgers, Mike, who was the oldest Pittsburgh Steeler ever to play a game in a Steeler uniform? Aaron Rodgers will be 42 this year. He's the oldest player ever. First Steeler ever over 40. Who was the oldest Steeler ever prior to Aaron Rodgers? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. All right, question of the day. Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old, going to be 42. He's the first Steeler over 40 ever. Who was the oldest Steeler prior? It comes down to years, days, minutes, all that kind of fun stuff. But who was the person, Mike, that was the oldest Steeler to ever play in a Steeler uniform prior to Aaron Rodgers? Field of Steel is saying Mike Webster with a boom. Richard saying Ben. Anybody else on the board? Throw up some ideas if you got them, some guesses. Again, I'm looking for the oldest Steeler ever prior to Aaron Rodgers coming here. Aaron is the first 40-year-old plus player ever on the Steelers' long tenured team so far, almost 100 years, here in about 8 years. John is saying a kicker. I like it. Jen says I'm wearing my Boom Derpy shirt right now. I like it.
Boom.
So, Mike, who was it? Was it Ben? Was it Webster? Was it a kicker? Mike, I need the oldest Steeler ever playing a Steeler uniform.
I'm leaning towards Gary Anderson because Gary Anderson looked old his entire career here in Pittsburgh. And I was young, so it's kind of might be skewing my memory.
Right.
Andy Russell was a Steeler. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers on that 70 team. And he was there from a previous time before. But he was also old then, too. Looked old then, too. Screw it. I'm going with Andy Russell. Not a lot of people talk about Andy Russell.
Not a bad pick. So, Andy Russell, that's your final answer?
I'll go with Andy Russell just because not a lot of people remember Andy Russell.
All right. I feel the Steelers filling the shirt for Jen there. I like it. Corey says, I think was Big Ben. He was 39 when he retired, right? Mike picked Andy Russell. He's locked in. Let's go ahead and see who it was, guys. Of course, Aaron Rodgers being the first 40-plus player ever in Steelers history. He becomes the oldest Steeler ever. John's thinking it's Ben as well. Who was the oldest Steeler to ever play for the Steelers prior to AR-12? Who is the oldest Steeler ever, basically, because AR-12 hasn't played it down yet to play for the Steelers. Mike says Andy Russell. Some different answers on the board. Some kickers. Mike Webster. Ben Roethlisberger. Guys, at 39 years and 320 days, just 45 days short of 40 years old, Ben Roethlisberger was the oldest Steeler ever.
Damn.
30, almost 40. So, I mean, say Rodgers is the first one that's 40 over. Ben wasn't that far off. Just another, month and a half. He would have been in the 40s as well. But there you go, guys. Ben Roethlisberger. Till this point, nobody's been older.
If his elbow didn't blow up, man, he might have played a few more years.
Vegas, what's up, bro? Nice seeing you. Great seeing you on this Monday morning. Who is that has never been in my kitchen? I'm not sure what to make of that, Vegas. I'm not sure what to make.
That's his answer for.
That's his answer for whoever the oldest Steeler was?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right, let's go with that. I could accept that. Mike, before we do start getting ready to wrap things up, I do want to say I hope everybody got to check out the 3 Gooners the other night. It was a hilarious episode. Of course, Jeff, Finch, Tim, the guys, they do their thing on Friday nights at 9:30. I was laughing from beginning to end. Don't forget to check out the Gooners every Friday at 9:30 right here. And my thing is this for the day, Mike. Man facing several charges after setting off commercial-grade fireworks in the Rivers Casino restroom. So,
you know what? You can't celebrate taking a nice poop anymore. I thought this was America.
you know what the funniest thing about this is? It was commercial grade. You know how those things really
bellies in there?
Oh, wow. So no wonder he's facing charges again. Casinos, Rivers Casino right there, right when you head into Pittsburgh from our side on 65. You come right down to the casino, Mike. Somebody, in fact, set off commercial grade fireworks.
Hopefully he won the jackpot beforehand and just had the money to pay the
right.
fine. Right?
Absolutely. Let me grab a couple more here. Feel the steel. Cheers. Till next time, Steelers. Need a thug. Vegas, that's the Cliff Clavin answer on cheer. Oh, I gotcha. Cliff, yeah.
Rip.
And then Jen said, yeah, for sure. Jen says, look at Rodgers breaking Ben's record on his first day. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of that. Somebody that we cheered for 2 decades compared to somebody that had their best somewhere else and are coming here to top their records off and pass our quarterback in just one season. But again, a lot of people still not happy. We will see. We will see, guys. Another thing, Mike. Go ahead. What do you got before we take off for today?
I got nothing. Oh, wait. The Steelers have the 3rd oldest average age roster at 26.7 years in the NFL.
Jeez.
26.7 is not old.
Compared to the rest of the league, it is.
It's ancient. I'm like, God damn.
I mean, how many teams got the Cam and a Aaron and
a TJ and a
TJ
Slay and
Minka, for that matter.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like 26.7. That's not bad. Then I saw like 3rd. I'm like, ooh, that's old.
I think between pro teams and all across the country, Pittsburgh has to have the oldest.
Oh yeah.
By average out of everybody, we have to. We collect dinosaurs here. It's insane. You too, Vegas. Always great seeing you, my man. Everybody. Mike, the Gooners got that. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, guys, gals, everybody. Greatly appreciated. I want to say thank you to everybody on the board as well. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. You're amazing. We look forward to talking to you every single day. We truly, honestly do. Everybody at home listening by their phone, maybe on their TV, maybe at the gym, maybe at work, wherever you may be, we thank you as well. Anybody that does listen to this in the future as well, thank you too. Kenneth says, I didn't think Moore was all that great, but just okay. For what he had to do, he didn't miss. That was what I liked about him. He got it done when called upon. And we had other running backs, and we had other people in our other skill players, but Mueldy Moore always was able to get it done when called on, and I like that. He was a veteran. He came from Minnesota. He knew what he was brought in to do, and he did it. Mueldy, I like, again, we don't generally carry 3rd down backs like that for that reason, but for those reasons, I did like him a lot. John says that Rodgers will also break Ben's record, the number of players he throws under the bus as well, quite possibly. Who knows? He threw the coach under the bus in New York last year. You see how that went. So who knows? The circus has just begun, guys. Aaron Rodgers is here. He is here in town, guys, with the contract. He'll be at Mandatory Mini tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll certainly stay on top of all that to get all the information that we can to get out for everybody. But besides for that, Mike, I think I'm done for today. You have anything before we roll? Speak now or hold your peace.
Aaron Rodgers, baby, taking us to the promised land. The 2nd round of the playoffs.
Hey, and he will not be wearing earbuds along the way. I can promise you that, everybody. I do want to say thank you one more time. We were going to be back tomorrow at our regular time right here. We hope that everybody could join us. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, and the subscribe button. We appreciate each and every one of you all the time. We can't wait to be back tomorrow. Hope to see everybody then. For Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the 2 Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.